Omni-Man has done a lot with his time on Earth, and sure, he has blood on his hands, but just because you're knee-deep in countless coats of carnage, it doesn't mean you're a bad man.
That's 100% correct, and it also doesn't mean his actions were not justified. That's why we are here to defend these people. We are their lawyers, Your Honor. Omni-Man will be found justified in all of his crimes. Let us know in the comments what your favorite crime, quote-unquote crime, of Omni-Man has been on screen so far, and how you justify it. Let's get into this.
Okay, let's start with the first thing we see him do. I think this is Season 1, Episode 1. We're going to be focusing on just the TV show, Season 1 through 4, so if you watch this way in the future, hello. I hope the world is doing better with Omni-Man, found innocent. But the first people he kills here are the members of the Guardians of the Globe, the Immortal, Darkwing, War Woman, Red Rush, Aquarus, Martian Man, and Green Ghost. He kills all of them. It was very brutal, but these guys are kind of cringe. If I can be completely honest with you, Gator, I think the world is better off without the Guardians of the Globe.
Absolutely better off without them. And, you could make this argument for a lot of superhero universes and stuff. And I've thought this before, Your Honor, jury. I don't know if you guys have thought this before as well, but when it comes to, let's say, the Justice League, why do you even waste your time with some of these low-level heroes like Green Arrow, The Question? Sorry, that's blasphemy. We love The Question on this channel. But why would you waste your time with these figures being in the Justice League? And this is the Justice League Unlimited, right? The extended Justice League, not just the core 7 or 8, whatever there are. Why would you waste your time when you have somebody like Superman and Wonder Woman? This is the same treatment here. Omni-Man can take down all of these guys in like 30 seconds, and he can fly well beyond the speed of light. Go look up a power scaling video about Omni-Man that you will see that his flight times and combat times are far faster than light. What is the point of these heroes existing? If I was Omni-Man, I'm not saying this was his motivation, but I'd just be kind of pissed off. It's like, what's happening? Why am I looked at on the same level as these guys? They got to go. They got to go, especially Immortal, dude. He has been getting away with his shit for way too long. Thousands of years.
I understand from Earth's point of view, when you kill all of their guardians, the people that are supposed to guard them from external forces, now you're left vulnerable. But this is just a wake-up call from Nolan, aka Omni-Man, that, hey, listen, these guys were a fake facade. This is like putting up that little sign outside your house saying, hey, this house is being watched by whatever, insert security company.
Right.
These guys were never going to stop the real force that was coming to you. And this is just something that Earth, unfortunately, has to deal with. But I mean, the real justification for this is that Nolan, aka Omni-Man, has to kill all these people, is he has to prepare this Earth for the Viltrumite invasion, right? And these guys would have they would have stood in the way for like how a piece of paper stands in my way about getting out the door. They would have stood in the way, but there's nothing stopping them. And this was just inevitable. You might as well just take them out now versus let them fester and make it more difficult for him to find and kill. So this is all part of the plan. Unfortunately, this has to be done by protocol of his people. I mean, we can go further into him preparing the Viltrumite, but if he has to prepare the Earth or the Viltrumite invasion, it makes sense to kill them all here in one spot by surprise. He's not going to do this formal declaration of war against them like, I'm coming to kill you guys. Prepare for Omni-Man. That's stupid.
Sounds exactly like him.
That was pretty good. I thought so. J.K. Simmons right there.
You're completely right about that. And this isn't to say that it's like acceptable. And we're not cultural relativists here, moral relativists where it's like, well, it's okay on Viltrum, therefore it's okay on Earth. We're not saying that. We're just saying this is a situation that Omni-Man is literally living in. He's like over 1,000 years old. This little tiny blip of time on Earth is not going to change his entire moral structure, or at least it's not very believable that it would change his moral structure. It kind of does. But think about what he had to deal with on Viltrum. It's survival of the fittest. It's like this ultimate social Darwinist thing. Do you know how hard it probably was for him not to kill these guys from the get-go? Think about how tough that was, just sitting there sweating all night long. Has to be married to somebody that's weak, a son that doesn't even have powers. It had to have been complete torture. We're lucky he didn't get an outburst earlier on. And by the way, again, this doesn't sound like a defense of Omni-Man here, saying it's justified, but this is the reason why it happened. It's not necessarily a justification yet, but this is the reason it happened. Okay, he's not a psychopath. He didn't do this because he's bloodthirsty. The justification, or the defense rather, more so comes with the fact that he has basically made up for his crimes by this point at the end of season 4 of the TV show.
I totally agree. You have to take in consideration the impact he made with all of the bad deeds he did in season 1, right? And compare them to season 4. I know Cecil makes this comment to him. I was like, oh, well, you're going to have to nearly die 2,000 X amount of times. But come on, dude. I think Omni-Man has not only done so with all these other actions he's doing against the other Viltrumites, but also he has the potential to save 2,000 times or 2,000 x 2,000 times more in the future based off his new. He's been rehabilitated, guys. Okay,
dude, not even that. He saved more than 2,000 on Earth before he even killed 2,000. When Cecil said 2,000, I thought like, dude, holy crap, he finessed that train to only kill 2,000 people. I was very impressed. I can't believe he didn't kill like 10, 20,000 in that Chicago incident. Anyway, my whole point is he saved the entire Earth multiple times prior to the incident where he killed 2,000. Sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I think killing the Guardians of the Globe was just him removing these guys earlier than when they would have been removed. Because if you look at the Guardians of the Globe, what would they have done when Mark's clones from these other they're not his clones, but his other universal copies, the big brain Angstrom Levy comes in, what would they have done to that? Because if you have all these different Marks, they all would have died too. I am 100% confident that all of these guys would have died eventually before season 4, or like by the time season 4 happens when Nolan comes back to Earth. So I have, you know what, I really have no sympathy for the Guardians of the Globe. Like, it's like, whatever. You guys would have probably died eventually. It's sad. Boo-hoo. I know you guys had loved ones, but I'm not... Omni-Man, that's all we need is Omni-Man, right? This is a software update. It sucks because we removed it. You're not able to hear the old login sounds of your Windows 2000. It's like, oh, yeah, it's sad, but guess what? We're getting an upgrade.
And I'm just going to reiterate my point real quick as well. Yes, after the Guardians, he killed 2,000 more people per Cecil, but how many times has he saved 6+ billion people? You know what I mean? And how many times is he going to do that again in the future? It's like, yeah, it sucks that he killed this $2,000, you know what I mean? But deal with it.
I mean, and the Earth could have stood up for itself if they were really strong enough. They could have
no balls
overthrown Nolan, but yeah. And so the other big crime you could say he did, this evil action other than killing the Guardians, and I guess this is incorporating with those other people in Chicago, is... How would you describe this, Gator? Bullying his son Mark, tough love whenever he pushes his face through that train, or all those people. It's just a different language. I don't know why people are getting on his case. Yeah, sure, Mark is not listening to what Nolan is saying. He has to get to him for whatever reason. Mark loves all these people here. It's like, dude, listen, you don't understand your situation in society, in the greater scope of the galaxy. Of course I'm going to push you through all these people. Logically, it makes sense for Nolan to do this. Like, how else is he supposed to get to his son? And this was an escalation of force, to be honest, right? He didn't just go right off the bat, hey, I want to tell you something. Go through all these people and then go, hey, does that make my point?
He tried to tell him calmly and like conversationally beforehand, and then Mark reacted strongly. And so then Nolan had no choice, really. But honestly, think about that even right there. The fact that Nolan even approached this from a place of conversation is insane. Because we see the flashback from when Nolan had his coming of age. His parents, his mother and father, were double teaming his ass. They were whipping him around like a pair of nunchucks. Yeah, it's crazy.
Double Dutch that ass.
Seriously, it was like a wet towel, like over the arm, under the arm, throwing it over to your spouse, and then he just beats you. Mm-hmm. It's like, dude, that was crazy. That's what he's used to. And then it's not like he wasn't fighting his parents back either, by the way. He was trying to kick the shit out of his parents as they were trying to kick the shit out of him. So he probably saw this, this retaliation from Mark as like, oh, dude, my kid is speaking my language for the first time. This is his love language, essentially. Not that he, was born with that love language, but culturally it's his love language. Again, this isn't cultural relativism. We're just describing, this is the descriptive nature of what happened.
Well, even if we talk about more relativism, Nolan, compared to the Viltrumites, he is, we want to say progressive, he is way more lax on the Viltrumite, like hard-pressing conquest and killing aspect of it. He's like a fairy boy compared to the other Viltrumites. Like, compare him to Conquest. Like, dude, Nolan is like pacifist compared to, like I said, Conquest or Thrag, right? He is very relaxed when it comes to the hard ideology that all the Viltrumites have.
Yeah, I mean, and we see that manifest over time right after this point when he starts combating his Viltrumites and basically goes to war against them. This is another crime that ends up getting attributed to Nolan, getting a lot of these Thraxans killed, right? Where his second son comes from, where Oliver comes from. On this other planet, after he kills all these people on Earth, after he beats the shit out of Mark, he leaves because he just can't take it anymore. He's having this change of heart moment, and then he goes and finds a new wife, has a kid with her, and the Viltrumites basically come for him on this planet, and he needs to recruit Mark to come to this planet to help defend those people against Viltrumites. But the whole reason the Viltrumites came to that planet in the first place was to get Nolan. So this is why all of these people die, and it's blamed on Nolan entirely. I don't think that's a crime against him because, again, if you want to blame the Earth crimes, if you want to say that's a problem there on Earth, the Earth crimes are an issue, how can you then go and say that him trying to prevent that from happening now to this new planet is also a crime against him? Does that make any sense? That's not double jeopardy, but it's something.
No, see, he's on his like redemption arc. Like Nolan's looking at himself in the mirror. He's like staring into that black hole, and he's like, "Dude, what have I done? I think I went too far. How am I gonna recover from this?" And then he sees these nasty little bug men, like, "Oh, I'm gonna fall in the black hole." Right? He saves them all. Right? So this whole thing is prompted by his goodwill. And again, we talk about his Viltrumite code of, hey, what I'm supposed to do. He's supposed to prepare worlds for invasion for the Viltrumites while also seeing if they are a breedable race. Now, when you say if they're a breedable race, which, he's 2 for 2, he's batting 1,000, at least what we see with his time here on Earth and then where these bug people are from. He doesn't have to have a loving relationship with these alien species to himself. He could just set up a camp in the middle of nowhere and just breed them out, be like, okay, I'm going to see if this works. But no, he loves his spouse, whether it's Debbie or this Oliver's mother, the bug lady, who canonically in my head will always be the Men in Black guy.
Oh yeah, dude.
Right, that's actually Oliver in my head. I'm part bug, part man.
Yeah, dude, call pest control ASAP. Honestly, dude, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, does our client not get at least a few points for being able to get it up for this bug woman? I mean, did you see her? And he's somehow able to maintain a rock-hard Viltrumite erection in order to conceive this child? How is it even compatible? How is it even compatible? It's amazing. It's amazing. It's a miracle.
Your Honor, we're going to submit some tapes of a reenactment of this situation just so the jury could see how hard this would be for someone.
Right. We already have it recorded. It's a reenactment. We already have it recorded. The tapes are ready.
One of these people might look like us. it just a coincidence.
One or both.
Hey, thanks for watching this video. Be sure to subscribe if you want to see more content like this and smash that like button.
Or not. We don't care.